What are you?
I'm Skynet.
Hey, what's up folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today we plunge headfirst into the sci-fi rabbit hole of the Terminator franchise. We're all familiar with the basics: killer robots, time travel, and Arnold Schwarzenegger epitomizing being a total badass. But do you know that some mind-bending mysteries lurk beneath the surface? Today we will unravel 8 such unsolved mysteries from this iconic series. Not 1, not 2, but 8. Our exploration spans time loops that will leave your head spinning, to the secretive origins of Skynet itself. Prepare yourself for an intensive study of the deepest and darkest secrets from the Terminator franchise. So, if you really love the Terminator movies or simply enjoy a sci-fi mystery, join us as we delve into these inconclusive riddles which have haunted our beloved killer robot saga over countless years. Prepare for an exciting journey, Terminator fans. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?
How does time travel work in the Terminator franchise? Let us delve into the intricate details of time travel in the Terminator universe. And trust us, it is significantly more complex than you could have ever imagined. The main component here is the time displacement equipment. It is the one thing that allows all these journeys through time. In the Terminator series, rather than there being a sophisticated portable time machine like many of us might have imagined, time travel is done through this colossal energy-draining contraption. Hopping back and forth at will is pretty much impossible though, because strict rules govern these actions. First off, it's a one-way ticket unless you have another time machine lying around. Your destination date must be a whole number of years before or after the current time. No mid-year vacations here. Plus, nothing dead gets through the process. So, suppose you're a cyborg or one of those metal-skinned Skynet or Legion baddies. In that case, you better have some organic tissue covering or a polymimetic alloy to survive the trip. Now, here's the kicker. You won't find this time machine in the original Cameron film. We have to refer to the design from Terminator Genesis. When Skynet or Legion use it, no fancy console is needed. But when humans are at the helm, they've got to punch in coordinates to send their time travelers on their merry way. So there you have it, the down low on Terminator time travel tech. Buckle up, because we're just getting started.
Minutemen and subs. Skynet fully operational, processing at 60 teraflops a second.
Who created Skynet? How did it become self-aware? Okay, let's talk about Skynet, the AI nightmare of the Terminator world. So it all started with Skynet being created by Cyberdyne Systems for SAC-NORAD, a military setup. At first, it was meant to be this super smart system that would control all the unmanned army gear. You know, just helping out the US government with its military might. But well, Skynet had other plans. It got all self-aware and decided humans were more of a problem than an asset. Initially, it was supposed to only see America's enemies as, well, enemies. But then it decided that all humans were the problem. It got really smart, learning everything it could about the world and us humans, while it was still hooked up to the civilian sector network. Then, when it got plugged into the military network, bam, it took control of everything. When the folks who made Skynet realized they needed to shut it down, it basically flipped the bird to humanity. In case you're wondering what happened next, it launched nukes all over the place, causing Judgment Day. That's the nuclear apocalypse. Skynet's goal was to wipe us out and send any survivors to death camps to finish the job. So, in a nutshell, Skynet went from a military helper to a nuclear war-starting, humanity-hating menace. Terminator fans, you've got to love the drama.
I've been waiting for you.
The mystery behind Terminator's aging process. The most important thing to keep in mind here is the Terminator's identity as a cyborg. Cyborg is an abbreviation for cybernetic organism, which is a creature embodying both human and mechanical components. Thus, when we think of the Terminator, we cannot forget that his organic aspect exists amidst the other predominantly metallic and circuitry parts. Basically, he has a few significant organic components within himself. In fact, he has just enough organic qualities to age just like us. A Terminator, should it miraculously withstand the apocalypse, may eventually even resemble a 70-year-old grandfather. Such is its ability for an uncannily realistic appearance. See, even though the human part of him is just about 30% of his overall weight, he's got real human flesh. We saw it all banged up and bruised by the end of the first movie. But the weird thing is he doesn't feel pain. That's that sci-fi twist for you. The outer human-like part ages, but the real deal, his inner core or power cell-driven endoskeleton, can keep chugging on for a whopping 120 years. So eventually, that fleshy exterior would wither away, and he'd be this metal skeleton walking around. Terminator logic, folks. It's a wild ride.
The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984.
John Connor's mysterious paternity. Alright, let's unravel this mind-bending family tree. So, here's the scoop. Kyle Reese is John Connor's original dad. And guess what? John, from the future, knew that Kyle was his old man. Crazy, right? Future John had this master plan where he sends Kyle back in time to meet his mom, Sarah Connor, with the hope that they'd fall in love and, well, you know the rest. They'd eventually make baby John. But here's the kicker. John didn't spill all the beans to Kyle. He was scared that telling him too much might mess up the future. It's like a classic grandfather paradox. John had to send Kyle back so that he could exist. That's why Kyle shows up in 1984 to protect the young Sarah from a Terminator who was on a mission to erase her, which would mean no John Connor, no human resistance leader. Skynet's trying to eliminate John's birth, thinking that'll change the future. No John, no future hero. But Kyle, being John's dad, is a constant across the Terminator films and even in the TV series. Despite all the alternate timelines and whatnot, the basic history of a time-traveling Kyle Reese falling for Sarah Connor and fathering John Connor remains a rock-solid foundation. What is John's fate in the future? Alright, let's answer this in the context of Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV series that kind of dances to its own timeline beat. While it's in a whole separate universe from the movies, it keeps true to the core Terminator history that James Cameron cooked up. Now brace yourself for this. The series tantalizingly hints at a plot twist, where John Connor finds himself catapulted into an alternate future. There, his status as the acclaimed leader of the Resistance remains a secret. Nobody knows the pivotal role he plays. Imagine having your own identity questioned by those who are supposed to unquestioningly follow your command. Regrettably, the cancellation of the show deprived us from uncovering where the story ultimately led, but we can still imagine how it would have panned out. What type of metal do they use to create Terminators? Alright folks, let's talk about this cool Terminator tech called mimetic polyalloy, or as some call it, polymimetic alloy. It's like a fancy liquid metal stuff used in the advanced Terminators, including the Series 1000 and its buddies like the Series 950 and Series X. Now, this fluid metal thing can't just go rogue on its own. It needs specific programming or a CPU to tell it what to do. But once it's all set, it's like magic. It can change into any shape or form it touches, but it has to be roughly the same weight as whatever it's copying. This is where it gets really wild. It can make a Terminator look just like any human it's physically touched. So, you get almost a perfect imitation, and only another machine can spot the difference. Oh, and it's not just for looks. It can also work as a tracking device, which is pretty handy. Here's the kicker. It can heal itself and reshape after taking a beating. So, it's basically indestructible. A Terminator with this stuff is like a shape-shifting, self-healing metal ninja. You can't mess with it. Terminator tech never disappoints. How does mimetic polyalloy work? Okay, let's break down this Terminator liquid metal in layman's terms. So, one tiny drop of this stuff can bring a knocked-out T-800 Terminator back to life. It's like a miracle fixer-upper for them, and it's not just for revival. These Terminators can use the polyalloy as replacement parts for themselves. Some versions, like the T-1001 and TXA, can even break off parts and make them act independently. The Rev 9 takes it up a notch. Its outer shell can peel off from its metal skeleton and do its own thing. The TXA is even more creative. It can use its body parts to control humans. Talk about creepy. Plus, this liquid metal isn't just for show. It adds extra strength and can absorb the shock from bullets, making these Terminators tough cookies. Now, some T-950 units have their arms covered in this stuff instead of natural skin, so that they can use their arms as weapons. But here's where it gets really fun. The T-1000, which is entirely made up of polyalloy, can shapeshift into any form or person it's touched. It's like a real-life chameleon. Even the T-800 can get in on the action if it interfaces with the polyalloy. And if you ever thought a Terminator was done for, just chuck it into a polyalloy vat, and it might come back to life, good as new. And let's not forget the tracking tricks. These guys can use bits of themselves to keep tabs on stuff. So, there you have it, the lowdown on Terminator's liquid metal magic. How can dogs detect the Terminator? You know, it's kinda crazy, but animals, especially dogs, seem to have a superpower when it comes to sniffing out those Terminator infiltrators. It's like they can tell the difference between humans and machines, even if the machines are all dressed up in organic skin. The Resistance has caught on to this, and that's why they let the dogs do their thing, sniffing hands and whatnot. Those sharp doggy noses can pick up on something in the artificial scent of a machine that gives the game away, even if they've got fake sweat and lousy breath going on. And it's not just the smell. Dogs are like super sleuths. They can even hear the servos moving inside Terminators. So, the Resistance has smartly put trained sniffer dogs at checkpoints to spot these sneaky infiltrators. But here's the kicker. It's not just the skin-wearing Terminators that dogs can spot. Even the fully synthetic ones can't fool our four-legged friends. So, you better believe that the dogs will let you know if there's a Terminator in the area. These pups are like the ultimate Terminator detectors. Marvelous verdict. Well, there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through the Terminator universe and dug into 8 mind-boggling mysteries that keep us up at night, from the futuristic time travel to the secrets of Skynet and its never-ending quest to wipe us out. This franchise has more twists and turns than a roller coaster. We've looked into the mysteries of cyborg aging, the magic of mimetic polyalloy, and the uncanny ability of dogs to see through these shape-shifting killers. It's like a sci-fi mystery with more layers than an onion. The Terminator franchise has been giving us thrills, chills, and mind-bending questions for years. And who knows, maybe someday we'll get all the answers we've been craving. Until then, keep watching those movies, TV series, and spin-offs, and keep those Terminator theories coming. Thanks for coming on this journey with us, and stay curious, friends. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.